Took a hiatus for the last few days. It's a little busy. Um, if that light becomes a problem, someone let me know. Well, if you're live, if you're watching this on replay, obviously that won't work. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys saw the caption. Well, the headline rather. Sorry. Um, did you guys enjoy the fights this weekend? Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson and John Boney Jones versus a nobody. I'm sorry. um, I mean, all due credit to his rival because he did reclaim the belt. I think this is his 16th time holding the belt. 16th time. I mean, John Jones has basically hit GOAT status. I mean, he's hit GOAT status. But I don't think that's the controversial fight. Obviously, it's the Paul versus Tyson fight. So I'm willing to hear any and all opinions on on the Paul Tyson fight. Do you guys think it was a fluke? Uh, Maurice says, "What's up, bro? What's going on, brother?" Um, oh yeah. So do you guys think the Tyson fight was fixed? It was rigged, staged, um, just a fluke, inevitable? Well, Milton says he can beat Mike Tyson in his prime. He can? Do you mean can't? Because I assure you, Mike Tyson in his prime would not lose to Jake Paul. Um, and I think that's part of the problem is that nostalgia set in for a lot of the older fans. Like they're thinking of Iron Mike Tyson from 35 years ago, and that just wasn't who showed up. It was 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Maurice says he is the best there is, the best there was, the best will ever be. I agree. I mean, I grew up on Tyson, guys. So, I mean, for me, he was a god. Like, if anything, I remember back in the late 80s, people used to get frustrated watching pay per view Tyson fights because they were in so soon. He would knock people out within the first couple of rounds. People like, man, they were mad that they wasted money on a pay per view fight. So at least people can't get mad at this because it was on Netflix. So if you already had a Netflix account, it wasn't costing you anything. Um, except for the buffering. Now, when it buffered, I don't know how long that lasted because as soon as they switched to the female boxes, I lost interest. So the two Mexican fighters going at it for the belt, that shit was good. That deserved to be a draw. That arguably that was a dope fight. I didn't see the two girls fight because, like I said, when the girls came on, I was like, I'm gonna watch something else. So I switched to anime. I watched that. So I started watching like I think One Piece and stuff like that. And then I kept flipping back. And I'm like, why is it still stuck on this? So I went to social media and saw that everyone else was complaining about buffering. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is a system wide issue. And I had already guessed it was probably just due to the massive amount of people watching Netflix that it affected their servers, which is exactly what happened, I think. Um, Wavy Tyrone says the fight didn't need to be rigged. That man is in his 60s. Of course he was going to lose. Well, he's 58, but point taken. I, I don't think it was rigged. The problem is Jake Paul has a nasty reputation. Like no one's going to look. I'll grant him that he's a genuine boxer, but no one's ever going to take him seriously until he fights someone who's actually a ranked boxer around his own age. No more washed up MMA fighters, no boxers who are way past their prime like Tyson, or NBA players. Why the fuck would you fight an NBA player? I mean, unless it's what's that dude name? That changed his name to that weird ass shit. Now he could probably scrap because he's he seems genuinely crazy. But aside from that, no. Fighting NBA players, and I'm from the Muay Thai mixed martial arts world, and I'm just gonna say it plain. And I don't care if it offends other MMA people. MMA fighters can't box. Yes, they take boxing lessons, but they can't box. They don't have the finesse of a boxer. They don't have the footwork of a boxer. They don't have the hand skills of a boxer. They just simply don't. They know how to punch. Knowing how to punch doesn't make you a doesn't make you a boxer. So, in any like in the in any degree to the analogy of someone who can skate being able to be a ice hockey player, like takes a little bit more than that. Um, which is like why when I go to MMA and they have boxing lessons, I take them. They're cool, but I would never like want to get serious at boxing from an MMA gym. Like if I wanted to go and get serious about boxing, I would go to like a traditional boxing gym, not an MMA gym. And again, fighting a boxer way past his prime that does like psychedelics weekly, like Maurice says, Mike Tyson will never lose to Paul. Um, Milton says, if they fix fights, Mike's going to fight him again and beat him. I don't. He might fight again, but I don't think it's going to be against Paul. I, he'll probably fight someone else. Like he did. He fought Roy Jones Jr. 4 years ago. That was a weak fight too. People forget that. The people forget how weak that fight was between. At least you could say that was like they looked like two old men, like two unks at the picnic fighting. Like it didn't seem like a boxing. So if people saw the Roy Jones fight and Tyson fight, 4 years ago, I don't know why they were thinking this was like that. This was going to be better than that when time isn't on his side. So Maurice Martin says young Mike Tyson's is over. Absolutely. Like people forget he was the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion. Like he came into the boxing world after already getting an Olympic gold. This is why like all my heroes from the 80s I think were the best, like GOAT status. Like Mike came in with Olympic gold. Michael Jordan came into the NBA with an Olympic gold. Um, now, if I'm gonna say the greatest of all time, I'm gonna be honest and say it's Muhammad Ali. But for my but for when I grew up, it's gonna be Mike Tyson. But if I'm giving like the goat of all goats, it's for me it's Muhammad Ali. So Wavy Tyrone says he lost and still got 20 million. I know that's why I keep telling people. I was like, shit, I'll pussyfoot for 16 minutes and get $20 million. Shoot, he only suffered a few heavy blows, and Paul already said that he held his punches. You could see him. You could tell he was holding his punches in a few of those rounds. Like Mike was clearly open, and some people have countered and said, well, yeah, but if he tried to come in with that with a knockout with a KO punch, then Tyson would have came took him out. I don't think so. Like people know that Mike Tyson is known for his peekaboo style, which was developed by Customato, his original trainer. We didn't see any of that legendary footwork that he was showing in his training in the ring. Either he did either as people said that the fight was fixed so he wasn't pulling out all the stops, or he physically didn't have the ability to, because he even said he had been dealing with severe illness and had to get multiple blood transfusions back during the summer. So I don't think Mike was lying about that. Maury says Mike was in it for the bag. Look, I'm gonna be blunt. guys. Like, if you're in a fighting world, if you're not in it for the bag, then what are you doing? Because the abuse is not worth it. I mean, simply like Mike was telling the little 12-year-old girl, like, he's like, forget legacy. He said legacy is just all about ego. He said, I don't care about that. I agree, man. Like, putting your putting your body and mind through all that wear and tear just to hold on to like a fight record, that's not worth it. Like, if you can get 20 million for a fugazi 16-minute bout, I mean 16-minute fight, why not? People forget Muhammad Ali did the same thing at the end of Muhammad Ali's career. He was doing these little exhibition fights. People remember he fought that little Japanese pro wrestler Inuki or whatever his name is. Um, Ali was doing all those sort of shenanigan fights too, but at the end of the day, people don't remember Ali for those little shenanigan fights at the end of his career. They remember him for for those those wars he fought in the ring with people like Frazier and Foreman and all those other guys. Those are the fights they remember. No one remembers those little circus antic fights that he did at the end of his career. It's gonna be the same thing with Mike. Mike's not gonna be remembered for these little shenanigan fights. He's gonna be remembered for the stuff he did back in his prime, back in the late '80s and early '90s. So Wave Tyrone says type shit. Yeah. Maurice says if the young kids only knew Paul would be in the hospital if he was 25. Man, it, it might have been in the hospital or worse because I remember like prime Iron Mike Tyson. He said he used to have to like bang chicks before his fight because he said otherwise he would just be too aggressive before a fight. He'd be scared he's gonna kill someone. So, uh, Maurice says punch and wrestle. Hidden Guna says what's up, Unc. Marie says, but don't sleep on a wrestler. They will get you. Oh yeah. So that's the thing. So the fight Ali had with Anuki, right? Like that was just supposed to be like a not a stage fight, but like a little exhibition fight. But the wrestler started taking it seriously because he wanted to prove that wrestling was the superior combat sport. So he was actually like trying to put moves on Ali. No, did he? Um, and I remember they said they allowed him to do low leg kicks to Ali and stuff. So it was sort of like a precursor to like UFC, like when it first started, UFC 1 and UFC 2, when it was like just actual mixed martial arts, like different combatants from different styles and stuff like that. So that whole thing between Ali and Anuki was sort of like the first time that really happened, I think. Where he says John Jones the greatest. Yeah, man. The dude is a beast. And if he keeps himself squared away, he can only go up from here. Like if the man kept himself clean, he could find himself in like so many like endorsements and movies and stuff like that. He could be just like some of these other MMA dudes that this that have like transformed themselves into actors and stuff like Bautista and stuff like that. He could be doing the same thing like Bautista. He just got to keep himself clean, and he would probably land a lot of endorsements. But John Jones is definitely the goat. Tubby Rainbow 111 says, "Yo, why was Tyson out here showing his ass?" Are you talk about what? You know what? I'm not gonna even be mad at him for that. If the man is in his locker room about to change, and you got reporters coming in there with the cameras, that's their fault. This man trying, this man sitting there trying to change and do whatever, and they decide to walk in on him in a locker room. That's like, look, you're at the gym, you just finished a good session, right? You about to change, and then some dudes come in there and start like recording Like, like some people will record in the locker room or in the gym doing their little gym influencer type videos on to put on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. It's the same thing. Like, like he didn't ask them to be in there. Like they caught him with his cheeks out. Like no Diddy. But yeah, they caught him with the cheeks out because he's in there about to change. I mean, luckily he had the cup on, so I personally I wear my cup over my underwear, but that's neither here nor there. And Maurice says facts. He said Mike Jackson for me is Mike Jordan. Oh yeah, Larry Bird was no joke either. Oh yeah, yeah. These all these guys were like in the '80s. Basketball was way different. It was a more physical game. And is this like getting on you guys nervous? I'm gonna turn this. But yeah, all those guys from the '80s: Bird, Jordan, Magic Johnson, uh, Isaiah Thomas, Spud Webb, um, Mutombo, like all those guys. Yeah, all those dudes were dope. I mean, that was my era of NBA. Max Payne says Mike should fight with Klitschko, not with 28 years old, not with 28 years old guy. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, he needs to fight a ranked fighter in boxing close within his age range. That's Let me change this filter here, my chat filter, guys. Give me a second. Um, he said just like Floyd. Yeah, Floyd. Funny thing is, I've grown more respect for Floyd over the years. Like, I'll be honest, like a decade ago, I had no respect for the man. Like, I think I grew respect for him once he finally fought uh Pacquiao because I just saw him dodging that man for like a decade. So I was like, I didn't take him seriously. And then even when he did fight Pacquiao, I was like, well, they're both fighting each other at the end of their careers. So I was like, eh. But at least it was equal. Like they were both at the end of their careers. But like all the great people, all the great fighters Floyd fought was usually over their prime. Like but I'll give it to him. Like he's a really smart fighter. And like I said, it's different from a fan point, a fanboy standpoint than from a fighter standpoint. Like as I, I'm not like a fighter, but like I've as a someone who spars and has aspirations as an amateur fighter, I get it. Like I will want the career path of someone like Floyd Mayweather over someone like Mike Tyson. Uh, less injury, more money, more longevity. Um, carefully picking your fights to keep a unblemished fighting record. I get it. Like to the fans, it looks, I get it. That's because I look at it from the fans' point of view as well. Like from a fan's point of view, it's like this dude is like whack, saying he's the greatest because of his unblemished record. When Julio Cesar Chavez kept a longer record as as a longer fighting record with no losses before he finally lost. But he kept and Julio Cesar Chavez fought much more tougher opponents in their prime than Floyd Mayweather did. Floyd Mayweather, he didn't fight the greatest boxers in their prime. He fought all of the good fighters when they were like a little bit past their prime. So it's different. As a guy that switches his pause, I know. I caught it myself. I don't know what Mike A is on. He definitely on some Diddy stuff asking this question, but I'm definitely not going to comment on that. Marie says Dominique. Yeah. Marie says I didn't like the dodging Pac-Man. Yeah, me too. Like that's why I didn't respect Floyd Mayweather for a long time when he was dodging Pacquiao for a long time. Then when he finally fought him, like I said, they were both. At least I would say they were both at the end of their careers. But I would have wanted him to fight Pac-Man when they were both like when Pac-Man was at the tippy top. Like I think Pacquiao still fights today every once in a while. Like I think he still fights maybe every couple of years or so. But I mean, for folks who don't know, he's also a Philippine senator because I lived in the Philippines. He's also a Philippine senator, and he owns his own Philippine basketball team. They call over there they have their own basketball league. It's called the PBA, Philippine Basketball Association. That's where sh- uh, Sugar Pants went. What's the dude that likes um, trannies? Someone can remind me in the chat room, but he was playing basketball in Taiwan and he went to the Philippines, and I was like, he's gonna love it over there. He can have as many lady boys as he wants. But yeah, they have their own basketball league there. I remember telling my father this years ago. I was like, Dad, I was like, they love basketball there. I was like, that's their like favorite sport. He was like, those little mother. I'm like, I was laughing because they are small, but yeah, they love basketball. Like you'll find a basketball court in any barangay in the Philippines. Barangay is sort of like like what you would call like a small town or I would say city district. Marie says, whose career do you respect more, Floyd or Roy Jones? Uh, it depends on what you mean respect. So if you mean like again, like I said, from a fan's point of view, then definitely Roy Jones Jr. How he worked himself all the way up from. I don't think he started at lightweight, right? I think he started at. Mm, did he start? No, he didn't start at lightweight, guys. I think he started like what welterweight. I think he went from all the way from welterweight to heavyweight. I think trying to going up to heavyweight is what messed him up. When he went up to heavyweight, he was slower, and the problem with the heavyweight division is there's no upper limit on it. Like back in the day, there used to be an upper limit on heavyweight because you had super heavyweight, but you don't have super heavyweight. They eliminated that division, so now anyone like 180 and over is like heavyweight. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. What is it, 180 or 200? I can't remember. I think it's 180 because you have cruiserweight and light heavyweight. And I think that's somewhere around one. I think that's like what, like around 175, 185, something like that. Because you have super middleweight, then you have light, then you have cruiserweight or light heavyweight, then you have heavyweight. I get why he wanted to go up to heavyweight, bigger purse and all that, but he was clearly outmatched when he went up to heavyweight. But as a fan, yeah, I appreciate Roy Jones' career much more. But as someone who if I was a boxer or kickboxer or MMA fighter, I would prefer Floyd's career. I would prefer Floyd's career. Um, Absolutely. Plus, people sleep on how good of a technical fighter he really is. I think because of the way he picks his fights, it kind of downplays exactly how, his fight IQ. But Roy Jones has a very high fight IQ. Jeffrey Scott says paid fight. Paul could have knocked him out. He held back. Well, no, Paul. No, Paul. To his credit, did say he held back a few times because he said he just didn't want to throw hard blows at Mike. Plus, he said if I throw a KO, he said if I try to throw a KO punch at Mike, he said Mike might try to KO him too. But I'm like, well, yeah, that's sort of like the whole spirit of boxing, though, right? which it makes it sound like again it was just an exhibition fight. If you don't want to throw a KO because you don't want to be countered with KO punches, then what are we doing? Like it's like you're basically saying this is an exhibition fight without saying it's an exhibition fight. Maurice says Pac-Man would have beat Floyd in his prime. Yeah, I like if anything that I think that fight, what was that like? That was 9 years ago now, right? I think that should have been a draw. Really, I don't think Floyd should have won that fight. I think that should have been a draw. But at his height, yeah, I think Pacquiao would have beat him. Because remember, Floyd had all these excuses. He was saying Pac-Man was using steroids or other performance enhancing drugs and all this sort of stuff. And Pac-Man was like, "Man, y'all can test me." He's like, "I don't." He's like, "Test me, go ahead." Like, and it's like sometimes people just have more raw aggression than others. Like, it's hard to tell in 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 combat sports if someone is actually like doping or if they're just naturally more of a just more of a raw aggressive fighter. I think Pac-Man is just more of a raw aggressive fighter, honestly. Maurice says Roy jumped weight class though. Yeah, like I said, I respect it because he went so far. Like I said, I think he started from welterweight. He went from welterweight, then middleweight, then super middleweight to light heavyweight, and then to heavyweight. That is a huge jump. That is a huge jump. Like I said, I don't think he started lightweight, but I think he started welterweight. Like if I were going to fight, that would probably be the fighting weight I would be at as welterweight because my natural weight, uh, I'm like 160, I guess. But yeah, hmm. And I've been all the way up to 180. Um, I definitely wouldn't have went up to heavyweight, but hey, he wanted to challenge himself, so you gotta respect it. At the end of the day, maybe he was outclassed once he went up to the heavyweight division, but you gotta give him his props for having the balls to go up to heavyweight and try his luck. So I definitely respect Roy Jones on that. Now I will say though, he was annoying the hell out of me as a commentator with the Tyson fight, the Paul Tyson fight. His commentary, his, his commentary was annoying. Like I will say that. Like he sounded like everybody's uncle watching the fight. Like the way he was commenting. Oh, I don't like them legs. I don't like them legs. And it must be something wrong with his mouthpiece. And even the other guy was telling, he's like, man, I don't want to debate a Hall of Famer. He said, but I think Mike is just biting his glove. He said, I don't. And Mike even said, they asked him, he's like, what were you doing with biting your glove? He was like, yeah. He said, there's nothing wrong with my mouthpiece. He said, I was just biting my glove. He said, I have a biting fixation. I'm pretty sure everyone laughed at that. Anyone that remembers the Evander Holyfield Mike Tyson fights probably laughed the ass off when he said he had a biting fixation. Uh, Maury says he got beat up a couple of times in the '90s. You mean professionally? You mean professionally, or you mean in his personal life? As you know, I don't know what you mean, but yeah, Roy took some L's, but like I said, I still respect him as a boxer. Um, but yeah, but personally, I prefer Floyd's career, of course. Um, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones. Ooh, yeah, no diss to Roy Jones, but I'm going with Sugar Ray Leonard. Um, he lives in this area too in Maryland. I think in Montgomery County, I think. But anyway, uh, yeah, definitely Sugar Ray Leonard. Like I remember I read his autobiography and did a report on him back in high school for my English class. I think it was for my English class. Uh, yeah, definitely Sugar Ray Leonard all day. He fought some wars. Like he was in that era where they were fighting those 15-minute rounds and stuff like that. So yeah, because I think his era was even before Mike, if I'm not if I'm not mistaken, right? Like late '70s, early '80s. Um, yeah, he definitely like Roy Jones is my boy, but yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard all day. um, but yeah, so to answer people, like I don't think the fight was rigged. There was even a thing. I don't know if you guys caught this. If any of you are on Twitter, um, I'm gonna turn this off. All right. Hope it doesn't look too greeny, like too green. But um, what was I about to say? Um, yeah, so people saying the fight was rigged. I don't think it was staged, but I can't prove that it wasn't. Um, but I don't think it was. We're just seeing Mike Tyson at 58. Like his legs weren't there. Like Roy Jones kept annoyingly pointing out during the fight. Like Mike is known for his great, you know, footwork, especially as it was a part of his whole peekaboo style. We didn't see any of that. And to be honest, even 4 years ago when he fought Roy Jones Jr., we didn't see much of that. His age was showing up. Plus, well, he did admit for the Roy Jones fight, he didn't really train like he wanted to. This fight, he said he actually trained much more heavily, and you could see it physically. Like he was better shape than he was for the Roy Jones fight. But he said he had some mental compli. I mean, sorry, not mental, medical complications during the summer, which is why they pushed the fight so far back. Because if you guys remember, the fight was originally scheduled for this summer, and they got pushed back twice. That's why I was wondering if it was even going to happen. And then when they said it was still going to happen this November, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But I wasn't expecting a knockdown drag out fight because first of all, I don't think Jake Paul is going to even do a fight that's going to be a knockdown drag out fight. That's number one. And I don't know if that's a part of the NDAs that he has his fighters sign or what. But that man is about the bag. He's not, and he's an actual ranked boxer now, but no one's ever going to take the man seriously until he actually fights boxers within his own age range and that are actually like a challenge to him. Mike in his prime would have been a challenge to him. Like even Mike 12 years ago would have been a challenge to him. Hey Agatha, she says hi, good night, sir. Just checking in. What's up, Agatha? I was gonna ask you if you want to be a moderator. Let me know. Uh, Brett says he stands square in his footwork, and that can affect lateral move. No, so Brett, uh, it's but what he does is called the peekaboo style, developed by his trainer Customato. It's I can't show you in here because I want to make this late, but see if I so hold up. Let me see if I could. Is typical. So you'll be like this, right? And just be like, and so I can't do the footwork in here because I don't have much space to do it. But and I can't show you, you know, unless I had someone like filming it for me. But you can do great lateral movement with the peekaboo style. Like I practice this when I shadow box, right? Um, that's the whole that's the whole point of it is that it makes you a very hard moving target. But while you're also moving target, it means that you can hit from many different angles. You can come with the overhand, you can come with those shovel hooks, the corkscrew hooks, the uppercut. It's very good. The counter to the peekaboo style is someone who can do that long who can do the long range jabs. That's how Lennox Lewis beat him. He countered Mike's peekaboo style by keeping a long range. And he just picked him off with jabs. But peekaboo is typified by great footwork. You have to have great footwork to do the peekaboo style. You can't just you don't sit there. It looks like you just sitting there square, but that's not what you do. Like what Mike was doing Friday, that's not the peekaboo style. Like he just stood there. When you see the watch his training footage. That's him doing the peekaboo style. If you watch him doing his training footage from last year, that is a peekaboo style. You're coming in and out of range. I, it's That's my favorite boxing style. I find it better than the Philly, the Philly shell and or the Dutch. Well, I guess it's more kickboxing and Muay Thai, but the Dutch the the Dutch cover also like hands down like the peekaboo style is my favorite, and I think it requires a lot of athleticism. Um, Maurice says, "I'll be a mod if you allow me, bro." Let me think about it. I've been knowing Agatha a long time. That's why I asked her, and she's just a ray of positivity. But I don't want to take on too many moderators at once, and I don't have the audience for it because it would just it would be kind of inane to have like eight moderators and there's like five people in the chat. Like the five people in the chat are the five moderators, right? So, but let me think about it. I'll definitely consider it. Like I'm trying to grow the audience more, and then it would make more sense to have the moderators. So, but Agla's just like someone I've been on here for like the past, I'm gonna say 6 months or so, maybe longer than that. She said I'm here with a headache. What's wrong? Is it a sinus headache or something else? Because depending on what it is, maybe could help. Probably don't want to be in bright light right now too. So if the screen can affect your headache. So Brent says, yeah, that head movement is vital for Tyson so he don't get hit. But then eventually they figured out him and his style. I don't think you figure it out so much as you have a counter for it. Like every style can be countered. Like that's just the nature of fighting. And besides that, knowing what someone is going to do is different from actually being able to stop it. So, for instance, the karate, the full contact karate fighter and kickboxer Bill Superfoot Wallace, because of a really bad injury to his right leg, he could really only kick with his left leg, and he only did three kicks: his roundhouse kick, his hook kick, and his side kick. And everyone knew what he was going to do, but it was too fast for them to stop it. It's a difference between knowing what someone's going to do and actually being able to stop it, because you still got to deal with reaction time and countering and all that sort of stuff. And that's why he was called Bill Superfoot Wallace. You knew what he was going to do, but you couldn't stop it. So like the Mike Tyson's peekaboo style, you know what his style is, but that doesn't mean you can stop it just because you know what he does. Sort of like if it, like the anime Hajime no Ippo, like he kind of he uses a cartoon version of the peekaboo style, but in the cartoon in the anime they 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 say it's the Jack Dempsey style, but Jack Dempsey wasn't known for that sort of like type of movement. Um, he was known for like just being a hitting with these hard punches. He did do some. Don't get me wrong. Jack Dempsey was a awesome like one of the he's one of the greatest. But what they were calling the Jack Dempsey style in the anime Hajime no Ippo was really the peekaboo style of Tyson. So yeah, like I said, knowing what someone's going to do is different from being able to actually stop it. So, um, Maurice says peekaboo style should scare the hell out of you. Exactly. If someone knows what they're doing to peekaboo style, you should be very scared because they can get on the inside. Um, so yeah, it is a very deadly style. Like it's more aggressive, where I think the Philly shell's more of a defensive style. It's sort of like the difference between Anakin and Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would be the Philly shell. Uh, Anakin and Luke would be the peekaboo. Like it's just it's way more aggressive. Agnes is trying to get organized for work and listening to you. Oh, thank you. Uh, X and X says, since Jake Paul beat Tyson, doesn't that mean he's better than Muhammad Ali? No, it's not. It's not mathematical because again, he's not fighting Mike Tyson at his prime. He's fighting him at 58 years old. Fight If he's fighting 25-year-old Mike Tyson, then we could give it to him. No one's gonna give him credit for beating up an old man. I'm sorry, you don't get points for that. What sucks is that this goes on both of their professional records, so this counts as a L as for for Mike on his record, and it counts for a W on Jake's record. But every part of Jake's record is Fugazi, so we won't even go there. But um, because right now he's 11-1, but it's like you haven't fought anyone. Like he fought one like real fighter, like one real boxer. Uh, was that guy's name Tommy Wilder or something? I don't remember, but he's fought like one real boxer and not like a good one. Um, but yeah, it doesn't make him greater than Ali if he beat tight. It would be the same as fighting Ali in his 60s. Like again, Ali used to do the same shenanigans when he was an older guy. You know, he needed to, he needed a payday, so he would take some of these little exhibition fights. Uh, but fighting Muhammad Ali in his 60s doesn't make you a better fighter when you didn't fight him in his prime. If you didn't fight him in the Thriller in Manila, then it doesn't count. If you didn't fight Tyson when he was in them trenches from like specifically from 1987 to 1990, the that was Tyson at his prime. Some people say when he got out of prison he was even scarier, but let's be honest, he wasn't the same when he came out of prison. Like he might have been jacked, like he might have looked jacked and had the aggression going, but the, he didn't have the same. It wasn't the same like in the 90s than it was from 1987 to 1990. If he bought if he beat prime Tyson anywhere from 87 to the early 90s, then I'll give it to him. But fighting him 35 years later, nah. No. Marie says Lennox picked him off with long jabs and uppercuts. Lennox low key a badass. Yo, yeah, Lennox. Remember, Lennox was a commentator at the fight too. He was talking about it, and even though he fought Tyson twice and won, yo, he told them how dangerous Mike was back then. He was like, and this wasn't even prime Mike. This was like Mike back in the late 90s. I'm thinking this is like, hmm, what was it, like 98? I think 90. It was like around 97, 98. Um, Even back then, Mike was scary. Lennox, like I said, Lennox played the long range game. That's how he countered. The peekaboo style doesn't work if you can't get in close to someone. That's the drawback to it. But the the good thing is, as even though it's an offensive style, when someone tries to come in close to you, it becomes defensive. That's why I said that's why I love the style so much. It's both offensive and defensive at the same time. It's offensive when you go on the attack. It's defensive when they come on the attack on you. So, um, but yeah, played. Lennox knew what to do. He probably studied probably like a lot, a ton of like Tyson's fighting footage, and he and his trainers developed a plan to keep Mike from knocking him out. Marie says, "No problem. I'll wait my turn, bro." No, I appreciate it, man. Um, but yes, because I have several. Like I have my wife is my first moderator, and then there's the German musician. She's I'm worried about her. She's hasn't been online lately. Miss Needles, but she has her own channel. She's a German musician. Then there's my homeboy in Thailand, Moonlit Fern, and this guy who's a New York City police officer, who goes by Officer Lumen on here. So I already have them on here. But yeah, once I have a bigger audience, I'll definitely see if you're still interested, because it wouldn't be it, it probably just wouldn't make sense if I got like somewhere between 5 and 10 people in the chat room to have like 6 different mods. But Rod says that particular style was put together specifically for Mike Tyson, wasn't it? Um, I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure, Brett. Like I know Custom Model developed it, but I don't know if he developed it specifically for Mike, or it was just, or that was just how he was teaching his fighters up in his gym and cats in the cat skills. Because for because we only know of Mike, but he had plenty of fighters at his gym in the cat skills. For all I know, he might have been teaching them all that style. I'm not sure, but he developed it from he developed it from looking at other fighters from the past, people like Jack Dempsey and others. Brett says you got to time up box's rhythm in order to land those counter punches, though. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely it comes into timing and rhythm. I mean, stuff like that. Agnes says Agnes says I got in my headphones, so I'm listening more so than watching. Okay, that's good. You can't see my pretty face though, Agatha. What's up? I'm playing. I'm joking. I'm playing. Tommy says hello. What's up, Tommy? Marie says Philly show definitely more of a defensive stance. It is. Like I definitely think Floyd uh, mastered that style, and I think he got that from his father, because his father was also, who's his trainer, was also a really good fighter in his heyday. So I don't know who invented the Philly shell, but I'll definitely say that Floyd Mayweather mastered it. Like it works well for him, for the way he moves. Brett says the Philly shell is a slick style of hit and don't get hit. The peekable style is all pressure coming forward. It looks like it's all pressure coming forward. That's why I said that's the that that's what's so great about it. But it takes a lot of evasive maneuvers and head movement and footwork to make it come together. Like if you're just charging at someone, it's not going to work, because you have to be constantly moving, because you're making yourself a move. It's not, because it's not just about charging forward. You're making yourself a constantly moving target at the same time. While making yourself a constantly moving target, you're making yourself accessible to different angles of attack. So as the people come in, try to attack you, and you're moving, you know, in these different directions with the head movement and with the the hopping from one side to the next, and all this other sort of stuff. Like when a person attacks, now they're suddenly open at different angles. This is how he used to catch so many people. If you look at those old fights, um, Michael Michael Warren says Jake Paul making paper. Oh, absolutely. Like I said, one thing we can't say is that he's stupid. We can say he's a douchebag and that he's a bad fighter. But one thing we can say is he's stupid. He's definitely making paper. Tommy says hi. What's going on, Tommy? What do you think about the fights? Did you watch them? Michael says Jake Paul put millions in people's pockets. Yeah, so that's one of the things I do respect is that he does respect the people he fights. Like all these has been fighters that he fights. He gives them huge fighting purses, and he said one of he does, and he says he's intentionally opened himself to fighting a lot of MMA fighters because he can give them a huge purse more so than what they were getting when they were like active MMA fighters and like UFC and stuff like that. Like Jake Paul has not made it has made it pretty clear that he thinks Dana White pretty much you know uh, doesn't pay his fighters well and doesn't have high regards of Dana White because of that. And he said, he'll fight people like Silver Anderson and other folks, and he'll give them a fighting purse they never could have achieved when they were actively in the UFC or whatever. I think he wants to fight Conor McGregor next as well. But yeah, he one thing you can say, even if you don't like his fights, the people he fight against do respect him because he does make sure they get paid well for fighting him. Agnes says my whole family, all the males, get all caught up with the boxing Friday night. Got caught up with the fighting. He said they were all betting, going crazy. Who were they betting? Like I said, I wouldn't have. Well, depending on who you're asking me to bet, but if I saw Mike not beating him, not because I didn't think Mike couldn't beat him, but because Jake Paul wants to have a great fighting record, and if he can claim that he beat the best, then he thinks that people should regard him as the best. But you're not fighting people at the best who are the best in their game in the time in which they are the best. Like fighting Anderson Silva in boxing when he's an MMA fighter and hasn't fought competitively in like a over a decade. It was like, come on. Agla says, "LOL, you so crazy." Oh no, I mean you so funny. Thanks. um, oh, but do you want the mod spot, Agatha? You didn't tell me. Brett says Lennox Lewis is 6'5", so with that long jab, knowing that Tyson's committed to coming forward, Lennox just picks him off with the jab. But if Tyson was using the Philly shell style, maybe that outcome would have been different. Maybe I I don't know, but I mean that's not his style, so I don't think he would have completely abandoned his style. Because for one, I mean, Customato taught him, and Customato was a father figure to him, so he probably would have kept that style just out of respect for Customato anyway. Plus, he mastered this style. Like when think when people think of the peekaboo style, they think of Mike Tyson because he's mastered it. There's other boxers who use it, but no one like I said, no one typifies the style more than Mike Tyson. Again, going back to Star Wars, sorry to be a nerd, but like Anakin and Luke typify the Jim Soul style, right? Form 5 sub style, the sub style Gem Soul. Like that's their style. Like Anakin, Anakin mastered it and Luke did as well. So other people may have used it like Anakin's Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, but when you think of the Gem Soul style, you think of Anakin or Luke because that's how they fought. Um, but same thing with the peekaboo style. Like there's other people who use the peekaboo style, but when you think of it, you think Mike Tyson. So I wouldn't have seen him like just completely, like he may have modified his fight plan to fight Lennox Lewis, but I don't see how he would have just completely abandoned the style that worked well for him for like 20 years. So, but I mean, it's an interesting thought experiment. Like, fought? Could he have beat Lennox Lewis using a different boxing style? Possibly. Brett says Jake Paul is the best marketing promoter in sports. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, he know people respect him not as so much as a boxer, but as a good promoter, which he is. Um, he you definitely gotta give him up to that for the promotion. Agla says Tyson. She's like, did you see on Instagram Tyson was kissing a boxing guy? Do you think it's true or fake? Is going around on social media. Kissing? I didn't see it. I haven't even heard about it. The only kissing I've heard about was the so-called gay kiss from Denzel Washington on Gladiator 2, where people say it was a kiss of death. Other people say it was a going to be a gay kiss, and that's why they took it out the film. I don't know, but that's the only kissing I've heard. And people were mad at Denzel. They was like, "Man, you waited like 40 years into your career to finally get buck broken by Hollywood." Brett says his Mike Tyson skits were funny as fuck. Yeah, it might have been a skit or something because I haven't heard of it. I guess yes, my friend sent it to me. Oh, well, I told you to hit me up on Instagram anyway. If you can hit me up on Instagram, you can send me the video. Um, Brett Riley says, anyway, I'm out, bro. Take care. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it, brother. I'm gonna probably go with probably like 10, 15 minutes myself. But depending on the chat. Like if the chat is still flowing, then I'll stay longer. Agnes says, I'm so angry. Why? You're angry at the fight or something else? Or you angry still about the election? Lyric Boudreaux says, hey, what's up, Lyric? Um, I think I think having the UFC fight and the Paul Tyson fight uh, so close together, I think it, it it drowned out the UFC fight. Seeing John Jones make his return and have a championship bout, which he won. I think that was drowned out because people still thinking about the Paul Tyson fight. Oh, she says the kissing. Oh, like was it like just a peck, or do you mean like kissing? Plus, you gotta also realize we live in an era of deep fakes and generative AI. So be skeptical of what you see because, like I said, none of my social medias, whether on X, Facebook, or Instagram, I've heard anything about Mike Tyson kissing anyone. So I'm for that alone, I find it a bit dubious if it's legit or not. Because if it was, I'd have been hearing about it through ESPN or all these other little things I follow, and I haven't seen anything about it yet. Not to say that you're wrong, but we'll see. Uh, Brett says Jake Paul doing Mike Tyson skits of Mike Tyson ago press interview. Mike Mike Tyson old press interviews. Okay, I haven't seen those, but it's probably funny. Maurice says peace, bro. Oh, aggro press interviews. I meant okay. Thanks, Brett. Agnes is on the lips. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yuck. I don't know. I mean, the last time they saw someone trying to kiss him, he slapped them up. Like, what was that movie where? Um, no, it wasn't the Robert Downey Jr. movie when he slapped up the Robert Downey Jr. It was I don't know something else. But yeah, if you can send it to me on Instagram, Agatha. Like, remember I told you my Instagram is Amon Just A Contrarian, all one word. She said that's why I'm so surprised. Yeah, I don't really think Mike gets down like that because remember when Puffy tried to put his hand on his leg, and that was real because I I remember when that I remember when that late night talk show used to be on. I think that was the Keenan Ivory Wayne's talk show. Keenan Ivory Wayne's briefly had his own talk show back in the late '90s, and that's when Puffy and Tyson were both on at the same time. He even later said that like that, he was mad at Puffy for doing that. So yeah, I don't think Mike gets down like that. I mean, people might think a certain way about him because of his lisp, but that's just that's just speech pathology. He's not, as far as I know, there's no record of Mike having any sugar in his tank. Cocaine in his tank, yes, but not sugar. He's had some cocaine in his tank, but not sugar, as far as I know. I mean, who knows with celebrities? But again, I've never heard anything about Mike riding the rainbow. I guess it's because my friends were saying if he gone the other way. I don't think so. Again, I think it's something with generative AI. It's either something with generative AI or maybe a skit. I can't say because like I said, I haven't seen it for myself, so I can't really judge. I'm just skeptical because it hasn't been talked about in any of the stuff I've been following yet. And like pretty much everything on Instagram I follow is either dealing with traveling or fighting. Like yeah, like traveling, fighting, and following some celebrities. So with all the stuff all the fight stuff I follow, I didn't see anything about that. But you could be right. You could be right. She says check it out when you have time. I don't know where to find it. Like I'll have to Google it because again, that didn't come up on my timeline on Instagram or Facebook or on X. So I was saying if you can you share it to me on IG? So like I said, I would think it would be a bunch of people on ESPN that had something to say about it. All these commentators on ESPN, all the UFC commentators, and the boxing world, like uh, the ring. So I'll try to send it to you. Thank you, appreciate it. And like I said, my Instagram is all one word. It's Amon Just A Contrarian, AHMAND, Just A Contrarian, JUSTACONTRARIAN. But like I said, the only gay kiss I've heard of all weekend was Denzel Washington. A lot of people have been giving him the blues because he said he gave someone the kiss of death, but people were saying it was like a gay kiss, and that's why it was removed from the film. But it may not have been a gay kiss, which is why they removed it. They might have just removed it because it just didn't fit what they were doing for the final edit. So, but yeah, I hope it's not legit. That's yeah. What did I do today? It was Sunday. I didn't really do anything. I always run, so I ran. Um, I got up late. Didn't hit the gym like I wanted to. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do some push-ups right before I go to bed. Um, just watch TV. I'm a little lazy on Sundays, but I still work out. Like I ran, did some shadow boxing. J Dog says, "Why are you talking about gay Denzel?" Because I'm saying I don't think he's gay, but people are saying that about him because of this kiss that allegedly happened in the filming of Gladiator 2. And the reason I was mentioning Jay was because Agatha was saying that she was sent a video earlier today showing Mike Tyson kissing another boxer on the lips. And I was saying I haven't heard of it, or like, even though she said she's seen it. And I was saying the only controversy I've heard of was Denzel, but I've never heard of Denzel doing anything like that in the past. So a lot of people are upset saying, why did he wait to the end of his career to finally get butt broken by Hollywood? So um, Alan Sir Pereira, uh, Guimaraes says, why do English speakers think my name is spoken like Alan Sar and not Alan Carr? Because for because as I just misspoke it as well, Alan Carr. A lot of people when they see a C followed um, by those letters, they will assume it's a soft C and not a hard C. No, did he? um, so I mean, you come in with a question, but whatever. J Dog says if he turns out gay, I'm never watching another Hollywood movie. Probably one of those shame rituals. I don't think he is. The man's been happily married for like 40 years now. But again, no one knows what goes on in Hollywood. But Denzel has never been known for that sort of stuff. Agatha says, "Did you watch the boxing?" Are you asking me or someone else in the chat room? Like, if you, because of course I watched. If you're talking about the Paul Tyson fight, all the undercard fights, I watched everything but the girls fight. I wasn't interested in seeing a girls fight. That's when I turned it off and watched anime. Oh, me, okay, yeah, I watched. Um, that was the only thing I watched this weekend. If that's what you're talking about, I didn't watch anything else. And I just caught the highlights of the John Jones fight. I didn't watch the whole thing. J Dog says training day with a gay Denzel would be crazy. I mean, we don't look. There's a lot of people in Hollywood that are macho, but still living an alternative lifestyle. So that really doesn't mean anything whether someone's masculine. You can be look. People can be masculine and gay, and they can be feminine and gay, or they can be feminine and straight as well. Like people think that's you gotta separate that sort of masculinity from sexual orientation because it's not they they don't always mesh. Like Rock Hudson was known for being a masculine dude, but he was gay, right? Marlon Brando, he was bisexual. So, um, and I'm trying to think of someone who's feminine who but straight. Uh, I'm sure someone can point someone out. Um, I can't think of like any famous people off the top of my head, but I'm sure people can probably think of some. But um, whether someone is masculine or feminine, and whether they're gay or straight or bisexual, don't they don't correlate. They don't necessarily correlate. Um, Agnes says we females were all alone while the guys were watching boxing, but that's okay with us. You needed some company, Agatha. So it's not. um, I don't know. Some of the women here were watching the fights, so It just depends if maybe some of the women didn't want to watch it, but of course, guys are gonna watch it. Guys want to see stuff. This is what guys want to see. This is like box combat sports is like It's like ritualized combat. So we don't have the coliseums. We don't the gladiator pits. Um, and thankfully, we're not in a constant state of warfare like our ancestors. So we like to see combat sports. Some of us like to partake in combat sports, like myself. I like kickboxing and Muay Thai. So, uh, J Dog says the Shay Shay guy. You talking about Shannon Sharp? Oh, okay, okay. Well, actually, he's not a good example, Jay, because there, there are questions on whether he's because remember he had that leaked video of him fucking his chick on Instagram live, and come on, like it's like come on, dog, like no one no one believes that you went to you got on IG live by accident. You got to hit like 3 or 4 different buttons to go live on Instagram. There's no way you accidentally did that. Even Cameron made fun of that shit. He was pretending like he was smashing someone and didn't know IG was live, but he kept looking back at the camera. That shit was funny. But no, Shay Shay did that on purpose when he went on IG live by mistake while he was having sex because he wanted to quell the rumors that he's gay. I mean, if Shannon Sharp is bisexual, like you know, live your life. Like it's 2024. No one's gonna care. If anything, he'll get more endorsements because of it. So, but yeah, yeah, Shay Shay is not a good example, Jay, because his 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 sexual orientation is in question. Agnes says yes was lonely. I'm playing. I'm playing. Agnes says I didn't even know when my other half got home. I was sleeping. Yeah, because well, because you probably heard right, like the Netflix crashed because so many, according to them, 120 million people were following the Netflix fight. It overloaded their servers. So like I said, it started at 8 and should have ended by 12 if earlier, but it kept crashing for like I'm gonna say it went on for like about 2.5 hours. Like most people didn't finish watching this till like I think it was like 1 a.m. or something like that when I finished when they finally finished. So for the 2 hours or so, it buffered. I watched like a bunch of anime. I watched probably like 5 or 6 episodes of anime while it was buffering. It was like well no, it would buffer or restart and crash. So and people was like, man, this is they was like, man, this is messed up. Abdur Rahman says Shannon Sharp has been zesty since he was in the league. See, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew him from when he first started in the Ravens because when being from Baltimore, of course, when the Ravens first became a team, I was excited for them because they quickly got a Super Bowl. But I didn't know he was known for being zesty even back then, which makes sense. Like I said, um, I don't think this was something that came about after he retired. Like this is probably his lifestyle. Like I said, if he lives an alternative style orient, uh, alternative lifestyle, good for him. I'm not gonna knock it, but sitting there, the more the more he tries to protest against it, the more you make you think that obviously he's not straight. Like if I'm straight and people are questioning it, but I know I'm straight, I'm not gonna be like hung up over what people think if I know I'm bagging bitches, every day, every week, whatever. Like I'm not gonna worry about what other people think. Like I'm a multi-million dollar NFL NFL Super Bowl champion, still in hella shape, bagging bitches. Like, why would I care what other people think? The fact that he cares so much shows that he's probably trying to cover up something. Especially when he did that little IG live stunt. Like again, no one who's live streamed would believe that that was by accident. um, J Dub says, "Yeah, okay." He said, "I wouldn't care the way he talks though." Abder says, "I played for TSU. Half the team was gay. Damn, for real." So all that butt slapping is because, well, anyway, he says just not spoken on. Even back playing football in high school, a lot of cats was low key gay. I mean, it kind of makes sense though if you like, not the stereotype, but it kind of makes sense. Like a game where you have to be that intimate with guys is probably going to attract dudes who enjoy that. It's sort of like this is why Brazilian Jiu Jitsu always gets teased. Like anyone who wants to like anyone who loves rolling around with another man every day, you gotta question their sexuality. This is why people in Muay Thai always make fun of people in BJJ like these dudes are gay. Like when I was at an MMA place, I was enjoying the boxing and the Muay Thai, and it's like, hey man, when you gonna do the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? And it was a woman who was asking, so I I was diplomatic about it, and I was like, well, they teach at the same time as the Muay Thai class, so I didn't really have time. And she's like, well, we have the one at uh I think it was like 5:30 in the morning. I was like, no, I don't have that in my schedule to get up to be here at 5:30 in the morning. And I'm thinking the only one who's getting up 5:30, no, you're getting up like depending on how close you live to the gym. Only one getting up like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to make a 5:30 BJJ class gotta be gay. Cause there's there's no parts of me that's thinking I, I can't wait to get up early in the morning so I can go roll around with a bunch of motherfuckers. Like, nah, son. Like, it's like, yeah, these BJJ guys earned the reputation of being gay because there's no way I'm gonna show up for a 5:30 class where I gotta roll around with a bunch of dudes. Ain't no way. Same thing, and so I can see that with football. Like, football is very grabsy, I guess you can say, right? So yeah, I mean, some guys might enjoy it because they really love football. Others might like it because they like the ball. I don't know. Abner says Ray Lewis did that. Grace Hope says Jesus loves you, bro. Thank you, Grace. Uh, Abner says nothing wrong with being zesty to each his own. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm saying, you know, just come out the closet. Like he was trying so hard to show that he's straight. It just makes it, the harder you have to defend you being straight calls them all to more into question whether you actually are straight. Like the whole stunt on IG Live. Like Mike says, I don't. He said it doesn't. He doesn't make no sense. He said they just gay. Word. This is just the name BJJ sounds zesty. Well, yeah, yeah it does. It really does. But to say the full name of the martial art is just a mouthful. Again, no diddy. But saying Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is a long term. Like just like I don't say Jeet Kune Do, like my main martial art that I practice. I just say JKD. But of course JKD doesn't have that sort of that sort of it, it doesn't sound gay. BJJ does because it has the word BJ in it. Um, at least they don't call it Brazilian Judo, which is really what it really is. Because then If it was just called BJ, oh, they would it. They would never hear the end of it if it was just called BJ. Because, like I said, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is really just judo. But I don't have to go into the history of that. If you are interested in that, I've actually made a video about that like 2 years ago. um, Sugar Ray Johnson says, I can shatter your jaw easy. I'm sure you can, keyboard warrior. Everybody give it up to this clown, Sugar Ray Johnson. He said, I can shatter your jaw easy. Says the troll, you're probably like some 200-pound loser whose heart would give out if you did like 10 push-ups. Like, please. I would invite you to try. I really wish you could try. I really would. Abdus is okay, so you never seen another dude and thought, oh, he's cute? Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. There's never been a point in my life where I would either think or affix the term cute to anyone who's a male, unless we're talking about a puppy or a kitten. I'll say that's a cute puppy or that's a cute kitten. I would never I would never use that in a grammatical sentence where that that affix is refers to another human male at all. He said, "I have maybe I'm zesty." I mean, if you are, you're there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm a straight guy, so no, I've never had that thought. Like I said, unless you're talking about a puppy or a kitten, that's it. Like the most I've ever said about guys, like that's a fly dude right there. Like I remember in college, like me and some of my friends, we would try to well, I won't say outdo each other, but we were all trying to look as fly as hell. Like, we came in, had like the little pea coats with the little satchels, with with the nice button down, some good shoes and all that sort of stuff. The leather belts, had the teeth just bleached white, hair waved out or curly, whatever. And this is my homeboy, so we like, yo, he's like, all right, yo, we see. He's like, I see what you're trying to do, son. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. Like compliments like that. Like that's how straight guys compliment each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. You know that was the extent of it. And then girls would be checking for us because they see each other like complimenting each, like complimenting each other in front of the girls' presence. So that 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 gave us all better rankings in their eyes. So that's but yeah, that's about it. Nothing says hell nah. Gay boy. Okay. No, see, it's just JKD. Just kidding. School of Martial Arts. That could almost work, but just kidding. It's that's kind of a stretch. It's, what would be a better joke? Just um, hmm, I gotta think about that. But just kidding. Again, doesn't work that well. Maybe just kicks dummy. I don't know. We'll work that out. Nothing says, but there's nothing wrong with being gay. Yeah, I mean, it's not. We're we're just getting on the fact. This all stemmed from what Agatha said uh, above, guys, where she was saying that she was sent a video earlier, allegedly of Mike Tyson kissing another man on the lips, and I'm like, I don't know what video they're alluding to because this is either something that's old or is some or something that's fake. I don't know whether which is which. But hopefully she'll send it to me on Instagram so I can see it for myself. No, so he said that was a joke about the letters, JKD, not an insult to the martial art. Just realized it might sound insult. No, no, I'm good, bro. Like, dude, I don't take offense to anyone to stuff like that. Um, I don't think anyone in Jit Kundo would get offended unless they're like the only people that get offended are people who don't really practice it. Like they're like the casual students, right? I've been doing GKD since 1999, so I'm not gonna get offended. Just like BJJ people, like when they hear the gay jokes, most of them just laugh it off. To be honest, like they're so used to hearing those jokes, they don't even get mad about it. Most of the BJJ players laugh about the gay jokes. 'Cause they're used to hearing it. So I don't think anyone who's like a serious practitioner of any of those styles will get mad at jokes about it. Because JKD people get tons of jokes. Usually the jokes about JKD is that it doesn't actually work. That it's all philosophy. It's like it's all philosophy and no martial art. That's the usual jokes we usually get. There's a bunch of people trying to sound like Bruce Lee doing a bunch of little fortune cookie like wisdom and don't really have any like actual fighting skills. That's the usual jokes about JKD. Abner's laughing. Sugar Ray says, "Let's meet up. I train at AKA." I don't know where that is, dude. I don't know what AKA is, but obviously you're not serious because you're not serious. Let's be real. You're not serious. No one who's a trained fighter would just go on someone's live stream and say, "Hey, I can shatter your jaw easy." Yeah, if I left myself open, anyone, yeah, I'm sure anyone can shatter my jaw easily. I can shatter yours easily. The question is, would I actually be, would there actually be the opportunity to do so in the actual fight? And that I find rather dubious. So, nothing else is pure cap sugar. It definitely is. Like, he's full of it because he just came on here randomly saying I can shatter your jaw easily. Okay. Abdus says nah, bro. Shane says that Paul and Tyson fight was a joke. Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, Mike's 58. He probably got some bills. Well, he no, he's a multimillionaire, but I'm not mad at 20 million uh for 16 minutes of fighting. Like my homeboy yesterday was asking me. He said, "Would I fight?" I forgot what MMA fighter he was talking about. I think he was either talking about John Jones or someone else. He said, "Would you fight that man for like 20 mil or something like that?" Like an octagon. I was like, "Hell yeah, I can run for that long." Shit. I said, I could dodge that man in the octagon for like that long. Hell yeah, I would. Because he was like, I think he said like for 40 mil, because that's what Jake Paul uh, got out of the fight. I think he got 40 mil. Mike got 20 mil. And he was like, "Would you do it for 40 million?" I was like, "Hell yeah." Shoot. I was like, I I don't know if he was saying Mike Tyson or John Jones, whichever one. But I was like, hell yeah, I would. I said I wouldn't even need to train. I said you could take me right now, out of shape, whatever. Just put me in there. I was like, I can run around. I can run around for the stretch of that time and get my money. Hell yeah. I said if I gotta take one or two shots, all right, that's 40 million. Hell yeah. I said without question I would. Without question. Meanwhile, I got these little trolls like this dude calling himself Sugar Ray Johnson, which is an insult to the actual Sugar Ray Robinson. But anyway, or Sugar Ray Leonard. But the, he think he would I would let him bodily injure me for free. I don't think so, bro. Like, if you want to come at me, get your paper up. Like, you want me to come to this gym, AKA or whatever, then give me a ticket. Send me a ticket at the designated time, at the designated place, so I can designate your ass. Otherwise, shut up. You're just a troll. Agnes says, yes, would like to you to I would like to be a mod. Absolutely. All right. Say less, baby. You are now moderator. Nothing says, nah, let me be a mod. I don't know you yet. Nothing. Like I said, the reason I offered to Agnes because, like I said, she's been rocking with me for like 6, 7 months. I know her. I trust her. And I was like, once I have more of an audience, I will get more moderators. But it doesn't make sense, like I said, to have like a dozen moderators for like a chat room of 5 people. So once I get to know you, nothing, and you know, and I have a bigger audience, which you could help me, administer, then yeah, I'll think about it. Right now, the next person I would probably think of is Maurice because he's been in here for a while. He's a good dude from what I can tell, so he would probably be next on my list. Okay. Abdus says, I think every man has seen a dude and was like, damn, that dude fine. He could probably steal my woman. Again, no insult to you, but that I think that's your proclivity. I think what other guys will recognize is, hey, that dude's well put together. The dude's that dude's jacked, or he's a fly dude. He probably gets chicks, but I don't think most straight. Again, I'm qualifying it. I don't think most straight guys would say that brother is fine. Like that wouldn't be a thought that most straight men have. If you get what I'm saying, but that's not. But if that's how you feel, that's cool. No one's gonna knock you, man. Live. What they always used to say back in the day, live your truth or whatever. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But that's not generally what most straight men think. Like if you look like people think of Prince, like a straight guy is gonna be like, oh, he's such and such. They'd be like, yo, Prince gets bitches. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they would think. They're like, Prince gets bitches. You know? Nothing says now. No, you effing lying. You talking about me? I don't. I don't follow. Um, Mr. Slav says, "Evening, good sir. How you this evening?" I'm good, man. Thank you. Agatha says, "I think guys should be head over heels with us ladies." Exactly. That's why I'm hitting on Agatha, guys. Not playing, but no. Like, yeah, I'm, I, just like with the word cute, fine is the same thing. I'm never going to use the term cute or fine to refer to a human male. I'm just not as a straight man. Like I said, if someone feels that way, they may be what they call it questioning. So in the LGBTQ alphabet, there's a bunch of different designations. One of them is questioning. So that might be someone who's considered questioning his 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 sexuality. And unfortunately, the LGBTQ alphabet is always changing, and they don't even agree upon it themselves. But you got LGBTQ Q 2SIPAA. So you might find yourself under one of those letter designations if you're thinking those sorts of thoughts. That's all I'm saying. Master Trismegistus. Sorry if I butchered your name, bro. Says nothing wrong with shaping. I don't follow that. I don't follow that. Catherine G says hi there from Australia. What's up, Catherine? I remember you, of course. I remember you. You thought you thought I forgot about you. Um, I have a very good. Sorry, my live my wife. I think my signal had just buffered, but I'm back. But yeah, I don't forget anyone, Catherine. How are you doing? J Dog says if you call another dude cute, you're just a creep. He said if you want to compliment a dude like Brad Pitt, you tell him to save some of the rest, save some for the rest of us, and move along. Exactly, exactly. Well, like I said, like a lot of bro, like maybe it's more of an old school thing that brothers used to do, but dudes just be complimenting, and be like, "Yo," things like, "Shit, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up, bro." Like that's how we used to compliment each other. Like, "Yo, shit," it's like, "Shit, I'm trying to be like you." You know what I'm saying? That's how we used to compliment each other. Or he'd be like, "Yo, he getting all the bitches. He getting all the," So that's how we used to talk. Um, Abda says Lil Wayne and Baby did it. The Mafia used to kiss on the lips. Again, that gets back into the story what we and Agatha were talking about earlier. So in the movie Gladiator 2, there's a scene that was allegedly cut. That was cut because allegedly it was a gay kiss scene between Denzel and someone else. But Denzel explained that the kiss that was removed wasn't a gay kiss per se. It was him giving the kiss of death to someone he was about to be ordered to get killed, which is a thing, um, especially in like organized crime like the mob. Um, but the mob was a very like super straight. Like if you were known to be what they called a fanuc in Italian, you can translate it if you want. If you were known to be a fanuc in the mob, yeah, you might not last too long. they they had strict rules. One of those, you couldn't be a fanuc. um, as far as Lil Wayne and Baby, no one that's not a very defensible position there because no one thinks that was okay. No one. I don't know anyone that thinks that was okay, an okay thing. That's why uh, that's why they made fun of it on the Boondocks a long time ago with Aaron Magruder. Nothing says J Dog speaking nothing but facts. Abdus says LOL at J Dog. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go with Jay on this one too, bro. He said Abdus says a dude in my job tried to take me out to lunch on our day off. That felt weird. I felt lost for words. Was that Diddy? Because Diddy will take you out to go shopping. He tried to take 50 Cent out for shopping too. And 50 was like, yo, what you mean take me out? He said, nah, man. He said, nah. He said, nah, playboy, I'll just take you out, get you some clothes. He's like, man, I don't need you to take me to get some clothes. Oh man. He was like, yo, he said, that's what I knew. He said, I realized, he said, yo, Puff is a fruitcake. Oh man. And the laugh gas Oz on some Diddy stuff. So when you see stuff like this, Agatha, you can put these people in timeout. This guy needs to go on timeout. Um, Abdus says LMAO. Yeah. Like I don't mind jokes, but when it gets creepy, that's sort of, and I get it. Creepy can be subjective, but we all know creepy when we hear it. Even the things that are cringe, creepy, like I said, is subjective, but it's like it when you know it when you hear it or when you see it. That's that's what this guy. long, I mean, laugh, gasp, all like he hit that that he crossed that threshold. But yeah, Q define should never be ascribed of a male unless it's a woman. Like if Agatha once said that about me, I would take it as a compliment. You know what I mean? But if a guy says it, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, I always gotta have my trusty water gallon here. But yeah, so with the UFC fight, like how many undercard like fights were there? Because I literally only heard about the John Jones. I didn't hear about any of the fighters on the undercard. Like, were they good? My problem with the UFC is they are very bad at striking skills. So everyone's making a big thing that he did a spinning back kick on this guy, and I'm like, big deal. Like, a spinning back kick is such a basic. That's such a basic kick. Like, it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from John Jones, but it's funny that striking, because there's not very good strikers in the UFC. When you find a good striker like John Jones, it's seen as an anomaly. Excuse me, as an anomaly, where is where if you're whiting, excuse me, if you're watching one championship, like most of them start off from a striking background, so it's much more exciting to watch. Like most of them start from Muay Thai or kickboxing or Lethwei or Sanda, something like that. So most of them have that striking background. Like even in the UFC, the better you notice all the ones who are considered the best fighters usually are the ones who have a striking background. Whereas 20 years ago, it was like most of these guys were coming from like um, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu or college wrestling. Agnes says, "Yes, you are cute and handsome. No respect to your wife, sir." Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It'll make me blush. But yeah, it's like this is why I watch One Championship. Plus, One Championship is based overseas. I think they're based in Thailand, I think, or Singapore, one of those places. A lot of the fighters come from overseas and they have a striking background, and I just enjoy it better. Like these are my favorite fighters, all in the One Championship. Like Stamp Fairtax, female fighter, she's phenomenal. She until she got injured, like she was a champion in MMA, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. I think she clinched it for I think she won it for um for grappling. I'm not sure though, because they have like they have like four divisions. They have kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA, and and they have grappling. I know I know she was like the king of three. Like she was considered the champion in three of the four. But I don't know if she ever got the grappling one. Then it's like Rod Tang, Iron Man Rod Tang. If people don't know Iron Man Rod Tang, he is a beast. Super Lek. Um, yeah, I love these guys from over there. Oh, yeah, Agatha's gonna make me blush here. But if you guys want to see exciting MMA, check out One Championship. And I'm not getting paid to say that. Although I'll be more than willing for them to give me a sponsorship. Shoot, give me a sponsorship and a deal. Cause I'll fight. I'm not even joking. Even in my 40s, I'll fight. Like I'm not I wouldn't make it my career, but I would definitely take on a fight or two. So, but yeah, if I'm not being sponsored for them to say the One Championship I think is the best of all the MMA professional leagues out there right now. It's better than they're better than UFC. Um, I think Bellator is mostly just kickboxing. No, I think Bellator has MMA, but they're not as well known for that. Um, then it's then there's some lower tier leagues out there across the world for MMA. But for my money, it's one championship. UFC may have UFC may have been the first, but they're not the best. She said I got to go now, sir. Work at 8 o'clock. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I gotta get up too. I need to go myself. I told myself I wouldn't stay on this long, but yeah, thank you. And like I said, if you can go on Instagram, please, and send me the video because I'm thinking this might be an old video because I kind of remember something he did a long time ago where he kissed someone, but I can't remember. But it might have been something from a long time ago. Let me get some water. I'm sorry. And all jokes aside, Abder, whatever your sexual orientation is, bro, you're good, man. Like, just be truthful with yourself. Um, if you gotta live in denial, you'll always have that pain. So, just be honest with yourself. But for the record, for the record, brother, no straight man will ever think or say that another man is cute or fine. For the record, but again, live your truth. You know what I'm saying? Be true unto oneself, right? But yeah, I'm about to wrap it up too, guys. Unless anyone else had another question or anything else, you know what I'm saying? Abdus says I'm straight, bro. He said, "LOL, I have a woman and love women, dude." You can have a woman and still be of an alternative lifestyle. Having a woman doesn't mean that someone still doesn't have those inclinations. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said one of the letter designations of the LGBTQ is called questioning because some of those people question those thoughts and feelings they have. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying no straight man has those thoughts. So if someone has those thoughts, they could be of one of these different letters. Like I said, they add like I swear they add like a different letter every year or month, whatever. Um, like one of them is even called asexual, which means someone who has no sexual proclivities to anyone whatsoever, which I don't believe. Well, actually, I do believe it, but that's actually considered a mental disorder, being asexual. But they that's a whole different rant for another day. But yeah, man, I'm you know whatever you want to do, I don't care. Like just be honest to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Um, what is that? I can't even read what that float and metaverse. Flat. I think so too, Agatha. She says I think Abder is questioning LOL. I think so as well. It that definitely falls under what questioning usually pertains to. Let me put on these for a second. Um, flat and metaverse. Um, yeah, that sounds mad ditty. So I'm not gonna even repeat what flat and metaverse said. Abdus says I find women attractive, but he says I thought a dude was cute. He said I didn't want to kiss him. It's not about wanting to kiss him. It's the fact that you thought he was cute. Like that that's the questioning part. Abdus says I'm attracted sexually to women, not dudes. I just thought a dude was cute before or handsome, I guess. Well, like I said, you heard it from me, you heard it from Agatha, you heard it from all the other guys in the chat room. We can't really put it to you any simpler, bro. Rama says I play football my life, never been with a dude at all. But again, you're playing football, which is some people consider football a very homoerotic sport, just like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Abner says there's nothing wrong with seeing a dude that's handsome. Uh, if you think he is, that's the problem. A flat metaverse, dude. You definitely on some Diddy. No one wants. No one. Nah. I think you're like 12 or 13 because that's not how. That's no. That sounds crazy. but yeah, guys, I'm about to go. My moderator Agatha, beautiful Agatha, she got to go. So, like I said, let's wrap it up with the comments. Is there any last questions or comments? And after we get off, like I'll upload on my live stream. So if we missed anything, you can always put it in the comment section, and I'll answer it from there. And people watching this on replay, same thing. You know, you didn't get to you didn't get to participate while this was live, so you can ask us questions in the comment section. Flat metaverses, Indian lives matter. Oh, that might explain why you're so gay, because a lot of you guys, I'm not going to go there, but the but you're basically perpetuating stereotypes. Flat metaverse. Agnes says, "I'm out. Blessings. Thank you for trusting me. Of course. Um, I'll talk to you later, sweetie. Um, peace, Abder. And anyone else watching. Uh, guys, thanks for checking us out, dude. You're and Fly Metaverse. You're trying too hard, bro. You're trying. Again, this is like Shannon Sharp. When you gotta try that hard to say you're straight, you're not straight. People are straight don't have to prove it. It's like logic. Like you don't have to prove logic. Like it. But anyway, all right, you're gone. You're talking about Kamala supporters. You've obviously never been on my channel. If you think if you think I'm a Kamala supporter, you earned your. And wait, before I go, I want to tell you this. You are the very reason why people don't like Indians in their social media, because you guys are cringe. You're fucking socially awkward as shit online. You don't know fucking online etiquette whatsoever. You guys are cringe as fuck. This is why people don't like some Indian folks like yourself online. So, with that being said, go go bother someone else. All right, guys. So again, stereotypes exist for a reason. This guy was being cringe, and so many Indian guys are cringe overseas. Like I've talked to a few good Indian fellows overseas. So don't get me wrong. Not they're not all weird like this incel, but uh, a good amount of them are, unfortunately. That's why the stereotype exists. This is why in most social media platforms, no one wants Indian guys or generally people of the Desi community in their online platforms, because they do they say cringe stuff like this, and they also tend to like try to harass the women in these groups and stuff. So don't even want to deal with it. So that's it, and I'm out. Talk to you guys later.